I'm so glad that we're finally getting to do this. And you might be asking, well, who is this random 49ers fan? Who's this random guy wearing a 49ers hat on this podcast? But it's a big weekend, obviously. Eagles, Niners, Sunday. And one of my good friends who is from the Bay Area, he is an actor in Hollywood. You may have heard of him, Pej Vahdat. He's here on the Gallen of Questions podcast. Pej, my friend, it's good to see you even under these circumstances.
Likewise, it's always good to see you. This is going to be very interesting this weekend.
It is going to be very interesting. Before we get into
will be tested.
just for a few hours, though. That's all. Before we get into the game, because there's obviously a lot to get to, with two of the best teams in the NFL getting together once again, because we know about the NFC Championship game. But I want to get into how you got into what you do. So you're an actor, and you have been in some incredible shows over the years. Bones, obviously The Old Man is out right now, and if you haven't seen that, run to it, go to it. It's amazing. You're amazing in it. Jeff Bridges is amazing in it. Shameless, you had a huge role. So, like, did you just know, like, when you were a kid, you're like, I want to be an actor?
No, actually, quite the opposite. I wanted to be a professional tennis player, and when I went to school, I got a scholarship to go play tennis at San Diego State. But I really never really had the passion for it. I was just really good at it. And then when I was a junior, I dabbled on the tour the summer of my junior year, and then I just didn't feel good about it. I didn't like it. I wasn't enjoying myself, and then I never took any prize money.
Okay.
So I kept my scholarship, went back to school, and then on a dare, a friend of mine knew I had interest in theater, and he said, well, let's take a theater class. And I said, oh, no, it's bullshit. I can't do that. And then I took one on his dare, and I quit tennis literally the next day. And that was it. I was like, I'm hooked. This is what I want to do with my life. So I just put all my energy that I was putting in tennis into something I actually enjoyed, and that was acting.
That's amazing. I didn't know that. Now, I did know that in the early years of your acting experience, it was tough to find roles. It's for everyone starting out, it's usually pretty tough to find roles, but I love the story about how you kind of like faked the agent. Talk about that.
Yeah. So it was hell, man. In the first few years, I couldn't get a decent agent to rep me. Everyone I would try with would say, oh, we have one of you, which is terrible to say, but they meant was they have a brown guy already. And it was a different time then. That was 20 years ago. And then my buddy who I was selling aircraft parts with over the phone had an idea that if we could get $5,000, we could buy a franchised agency, SAG franchise, which meant we could get all the breakdowns from the movie productions and the TV productions and submit ourselves and pitch ourselves like agents do. And I borrowed 5 Gs from my best friend, Shoma James. And I got my first big movie role from myself. My agent name was Jason Vaughn. I would pitch Pej Vahdat all day, every day, while I was selling aircraft parts over the phone. And I got this movie, and then I took that movie to a better agent, like a legit agent. I said, here's this movie I booked. Here's 10% of it, represent me. And they took it. They're like, sure. And then I kept doing that, until I got to when I got Bones, which was like the game changer for me. I signed with my now agent, which has been like, 13, 14 years now. I've been with the same agency. So it was a trek, but definitely well worth it.
People, that shows your ingenuity. It shows your drive and your passion, obviously, which is really cool. Yeah. Hard business to get into, but that's that's amazing. How's Jason Vaughn doing these days? Has he popped up anywhere recently?
Jason Vaughn is retired, but he is the name of my production company. So his name is Jason Vaughn Productions. I'll never forget it. Every time I go to Starbucks, I don't go to Starbucks, gross. But if I get coffee at a coffee shop, I always go, Jason is the name, just so I always remember how hard it was, and it reminds me of how far I've come. So it's a nice little reminder.
That's amazing. So in the beginning, obviously tough to get some roles, but Bones changed the game. How many episodes did you end up on?
40.
That's unreal.
40, and it was basically give or take. I think 40, and only because they were kind enough to let me go and do other things at the same time. I mean, Hart Hansen changed my life, and he let me go do Shameless and come back. He let me go do a Broadway play at the Lincoln Center and come back. I play at Philadelphia, at PTC and come back. I mean, it was the greatest gig you could ever ask for because it paid me very well and let me do countless other jobs at the same time. He's just an angel, man. The guy really, truly is one of the best human beings I've ever met in this business.
What was the Shameless?
And he's the
experience?
creator of Bones.
Yeah. What was the Shameless experience like for you?
Oh, Shameless was, a game changer in another way.
Yeah.
Shameless because it was like a cable gritty show that was like, Emmy nominated, all those things. It was a different, I guess, a different part of the business saw me as a guy who was playing a closeted homosexual. It was this beautiful role that was really hard. And I think it gave me more credit, quote unquote, credibility as an actor. So that opened up a different world in the business for me, more doors, more, movie auditions. And I got to do the Lincoln Center. I think a lot of it had to do with my role on Shameless to get that opportunity. Sure. Shameless was just another one where, John Wells took a gamble and, it's just another type of game changer for me.
And now, starring in The Old Man, Jeff Bridges is in it. Amy Brenneman, Philly. She's from Philly, right? Amy Brenneman's from here.
Is she?
I think so.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think. Let me check that.
Man.
I might have to cut that out, but I'm pretty sure she's from here. It's an amazing show. I know the writer's strike just ended, so I'm sure you guys will be back soon, right? For year 3.
Yeah, hopefully we're halfway through season 2, and I believe we should be done by March, and it should be out. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know exactly. This stuff changes with the strike, but yeah. But also the creators are from Philly.
Is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Dan Schatz, he grew up in, I want to say he grew up in, is it called Germantown? Is that what that is? Yeah.
Oh, very cool. I don't think I realized
I
that.
can't
There's a lot of Philly
guys.
flavor there.
Everywhere, man. Like Bones literally had, I want to say 4 actors from Philly, 5 maybe.
Obviously, David Boreanaz, yeah.
Boreanaz, Michaela Conlon, Michael Grant Terry, Eugene Bird.
Eugene Bird is from Philly? I didn't know that.
So many. Oh, yeah. Oh, dude, he's a huge Eagles fan. He's kind of jealous I'm doing this podcast, to be honest.
I didn't know that. I tell him, hey, come on in. Let's rock. That's awesome. I didn't know that.
Oh, dude, he's a huge Eagles and Sixers fan. Loves the Phillies, but I think Sixers are his.
Sure.
I think it goes Sixers, Eagles, Phillies for him.
How difficult is the role in The Old Man? Because you had to learn an entire language from scratch, right?
Yeah. So I learned that language. It's Dari. It's an Afghani language. I learned that phonetically. And it took me a long time. I mean, and the accent is not something I've done before. It's more of like a Middle Eastern guy, but he's educated in Europe, and it's a whole, like, you really have to make sure you get the nuances of that region right, and especially where he was educated. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it was an incredible experience. It was super difficult to learn a language like that. And actually, I didn't want to just say it. You hear people do it phonetically. I had to make sure I sounded like I lived there, grew up there. Like, this is my first language. So our incredible dialect coach, Hamid, was just on me daily. Just, no, that's wrong. Like, literally, like yelling. And I loved it. That's how I like it. I'm an athlete. I like discipline. Yeah. So it was a lot of work. It was well worth it, because again, another kind of game changer for me was that, that show is also, people loved it, and the character is so outside of my, me. I mean, if you watch it, it's so not me. Sure. So I'm glad it worked out. So yeah, it was great.
I'm not just saying this because you're a friend of mine, but you're absolutely crushing it on that show. It's so, so good. I know
Thank you so
I work
much.
for Paramount,
Thanks.
but we're going to slip this in. You got to go see it on FX, The Old Man. So you might be wondering, like, how are we friends? We meet at a barbecue in Northeast Philly through a mutual friend of ours, Mike Ivers, another great actor, by the way, who should be doing way more, who's been in like a zillion commercials. But Mike
Super talented.
comes to the barbecue. I went to high school with Mike. We see old friends. You're there, and of course, we instantly strike up a friendship because we talk about nothing but sports. And so here we are. That's got to be like, it feels like a long time ago, 12 years ago, something like that.
More, 2011. Yeah, almost 13, 14 years ago. Yeah,
Jeez,
13 years ago. Yeah, it was so. Yeah,
it's unreal.
but Mikey, when he told me what you did, I'm like, wait, what does he do? And I geeked out. I'm like, oh my God, because I love sports so much, and I geeked out when I met you. I was like, oh my God, what a cool job.
And vice versa, because I like, obviously I didn't act. I won't even use that, but I did commercial acting before I got into like radio and TV. I did some like funny, I had like a life insurance commercial that went national and like Planet Fitness. But I always had that itch, and it was always so much fun. It just like on a local scale, it's so hard to do. So I much rather would be in the seat that I'm in now.
Yeah, for sure. You got a pretty good seat over there.
Yeah, it's not bad, right? You like the Kelly green behind me? It looks pretty good.
I do like it. I can't lie. I like that jersey.
It is pretty sweet. Okay, so 49ers, you're a huge 49ers fan. You grew up in the Bay Area. And so this year, the team is exceptionally talented. They're 8-3. They had that like little lull in the middle of the year. But let's go back to last year, because everything that has to do with this game really has to do with what happened in the NFC Championship game last year. And there's been so much talk, so much smack talk. Debo has been talking a lot. And Fred Warner the other day was like, I wish we wouldn't talk so much about the what's happening and what had already happened. But are you past that, or does that still bother you?
They're talking?
No, the game itself.
Oh no, I'm past it. I mean, what were you supposed to do? It's not like it wasn't a shady hit. The problem with it was the guy right behind him gets hurt too.
Yeah.
And not that he was going to win the game. There's no chance in hell he's not going to beat the Eagles. But no, there was nothing to do. I mean, yeah, would I have liked Brock to have a full go? Yeah, for sure. As I hope the Eagles fans would have wanted that as well. But I can't say like, the Eagles screwed the Niners. I mean, what'd they do wrong? What are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
Injuries happen. It wasn't if it was a shady injury, like a chop block or something else that was really late hit or something, then you go like, all right,
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was a legit play. He's a monster. He got to him. He got hurt. That's the game.
It's gonna be an amazing game.
Yeah.
So talented.
Look,
on both
honestly,
sides.
you want to go like, if you want to just go get people. I am baffled that you guys are underdogs at home, but I understand it.
Yes,
I do understand it. You are 10-1. You are at home. It's a short week.
Yep.
But like, if you go by the numbers, just purely numbers, the Niners have a better squad. Like, especially defensively, I would say.
Agree.
Well, maybe both.
I think
But
offensively,
you guys are pretty even.
Yeah,
You have a way better line, way better offensive line. You know what's funny about the narrative about Brock is that I'm a Niner fan, but I am like, I've been watching all these quarterbacks come and go. And this guy has a really bad offensive line. Like, it's 29th in the league or 28th in the league. Other than Williams on the left, Aaron Banks too, but he's injured.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone else is just like in Swiss cheese over here. So I don't know why they keep talking about him. Like Stephen A. the other day said he has all day back there. I'm like, that's not true at all. He's hit constantly, But anyway, to go back to that, I think you guys, your offensive line, the skill positions, obviously Jalen's a G, but your defense is real. real rough.
There are some rough patches.
Giving up points.
Yeah, rough spots on the
that's
defense.
That's what I mean. I heard last week you guys gave up 500 yards in offense and that many points and still won. It's like the first time ever.
Yeah. It can be a little bit rough on defense. They get away with it because they have Jalen Hurts. The defensive line is really their best asset.
Yes.
And obviously Slay and Bradbury are really good.
This is the best defensive front they're going to face. They had a problem with Cleveland because of that front. And here's another thing. I heard it might be raining. If it's raining, I'm real nervous.
So what's your prediction? How do you feel knowing that it is? I don't know how heavy it's going to rain, but it's definitely going to rain.
That's the key for me. If it's just sprinkling, then that's fine. But if it's a monsoon or whatever, like last week.
Let me check our app real quick, and I can give you.
Let's just say the weather's fine.
Let me check our app real quick, so you can give me your true thoughts on the game. Let's see.
Yeah. Let me know.
Daily. I just came in from we had a live show at 6:00. It says 50 mid 50s and occasional rain. A rain jacket may be needed for the game. So
that's not enough. Okay, fine. I can mess with that. Then if that's the case, I will take the Niners to win and cover the spread even.
Okay, fair enough.
What's your prediction?
Well, normally I wait until Sunday morning on our pregame show.
Why?
Because we have a pregame show. But I'll give you a little taste.
I thought you were waiting for other things.
No, I'll give you a little taste. It's going to be tough for the Eagles. It's going to be tough because the 49ers can spread the Eagles out so much. McCaffrey out of the backfield, they always struggle with running backs like that who can catch the ball. He's ridiculous. And then I worry about like a big play where you kind of, not that Purdy's dinking and dunking, but you hit McCaffrey on these shorter routes. You hit Kittle on a shorter route, and then boom, right over the top, Ayuk was going to hit you with like a 50-yarder. So I think it's going to play out that way. Eagles defense has not looked great. I think they can look better than they did against Buffalo, but I'm leaning 49ers for sure.
Yeah.
Sadly.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be great.
This is the only thing. The only thing that the Eagles cannot do is let the Niners go ahead.
Well,
like they've been doing, and then coming back.
Yeah, you would think every game you're like, the Eagles can't keep doing this. They can't keep doing this. And they keep doing it, and I'm like, it's not. Yeah, you shouldn't play that way.
You're right.
At some point, the luck will run out.
Yeah, it's so good. This is going to be so good. Oh my God, I'm nervous.
You're always
I'm
nervous.
AJ Brown's going to go off. I am always nervous.
Who's your favorite 49ers player of all time?
Ooh, all time?
Yeah.
Probably Jerry.
Jerry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I used to love T.O. too.
We love T.O. here in Philly too, man. Until A.J. Brown showed up, he might be better than T.O. T.O. had a great run here.
Oh, yeah. Dude, he's luckily on my fantasy league player, and he's awesome.
Pej,
oh my God.
I don't want to keep you too much longer. It's been a while. 27 minutes. That's pretty good. Thank you so much. I'm glad we got to catch up. If this happens again in the playoffs, and I hope it does, first off, if it happens here in Philly, you got to come out here, even though you're going to tell me, I'm busy, I'm in Vancouver, I'm so busy
Only if I
shooting.
get to sit with Cooper and Bradley Lowry, or what's his name, your owner.
Jeff Lurie, yeah. Do you know Brad? You can send him a text.
I know Brad through a friend of mine who's his best friend, also a huge Eagles fan. He was there with him a couple weeks ago, I think.
I walked right past him. He was actually at the game in New York. I was up in the Meadowlands for that game and walked right by him. Obviously he's a Philly guy. I'm a big Bradley Cooper fan.
He's awesome.
And he's legit, man. He's into it. He just said the other day on Stern that he would
rather
have
I know. Do you believe him, though? Oh. I'll tell you, my answer is not the Niners winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but you bring so much joy to millions of people. Maestro he doesn't necessarily have to win all of those things, and he could still make out pretty well with Maestro.
Yeah. What were your egomaniacs, dude?
Yeah.
He's
Pej,
going to be there Sunday. I know that.
yeah, 100%. He'll definitely be there. Pej, thank you so much, my friend. It's so good to catch up with
Thank you,
you.
bud.
Great to see you. You look
too.
great as always. I'll talk to you soon.